so much worse. And they described a flight out of a nightmare.
Yeah, it looks like we are getting this press conference ready for you. Let's go ahead and listen in.
We're here investigating an accident, and yes, we've now determined, based on our definition of substantial damage, that it is an accident, not an incident, that occurred around 6:38 p.m. Pacific Standard Time yesterday, Friday, January 5th, 2024. Alaska Airlines flight 1282, a Boeing 737-9, tail number November 704 Alpha Lima, departed Portland International Airport for Ontario, California, and returned after a mid-cabin door plug. That mid-cabin door was aft of the wings, departed the airplane, resulting in rapid decompression. Just taking a second on the door plug. When you are a customer such as an airline purchasing an aircraft, Boeing would make an airframe, one airframe, which is sold to multiple customers, and the customers will order the design that they need for their operations. This particular aircraft for Alaska is certified for up to 189 passengers, and given the 189 passenger threshold, Alaska would not have to have emergency exit doors at that location in the aircraft. Alaska actually only has on this plane 178 seats. For a higher density configuration, an emergency exit door would have to be on that airframe for anything certified at 215 passengers or 220 passengers. But this mid-cabin door plug, there's one on the left, there's one on the right. They are not operational. What you would see in the cabin if you are a passenger is a window and just part of the cabin. You would not see those as doors unless you are outside of the aircraft. Now, we know that there were 171 passengers on board the airplane with 2 pilots. The captain was flying at the time. They also had 4 flight attendants on board. Fortunately, all passengers deplaned. We are not aware of any serious injuries. We are aware of reports of minor injuries. With that said, I imagine this was a pretty terrifying event. We don't often talk about psychological injury, but I'm sure that occurred here. So on behalf of the National Transportation Safety Board, I would like to extend our deepest sympathies to those that experienced what I imagine was truly terrifying. So today we arrived on scene at 3:12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The first order of business for me was to see the aircraft, outside the aircraft and inside. We then proceeded to an organizational meeting. At the organizational meeting, we bring together everyone that will be part of the fact-finding phase of our investigation and plan out how we intend to proceed over the next several days and the next several weeks. We also took some time to designate parties to our investigation. The NTSB always works in what we call a party process during the fact-finding phase of our investigation. What that means is we bring together technical experts that would have access to all the factual information. They help us gather that factual information. But after the fact-finding phase, it is only the NTSB that does the analysis, develops the findings, develops the probable cause, and issues the safety recommendations. So parties to our investigation are the Federal Aviation Administration, Boeing, Alaska Airlines, the Airline Pilots Association, and the Association of Flight Attendants. Again, they are only part of the fact-finding phase. For example, if we need maintenance records, and again, that's just an example, we would know who to go to, who the technical experts are as part of our party system. Now, again, I mentioned that John Lovell is our investigator in charge, but with him, we have a number of NTSB staff that have particular expertise in certain areas: flight operations, survival factors and cabin safety, structures, aircraft systems, including pressurization systems. We have a metallurgist here. Our meteorology and air traffic control team is back at headquarters, but is reporting information to us from there. And we have a team for recorders. Now, the recorders will be sent back to our lab tomorrow morning at some point. Again, I mentioned we arrived just around 3:15 this afternoon. So tomorrow is our first full day of our investigation. Today was just the planning phase. So we have a lot of work to do. I imagine I'm going to get a lot of questions about manufacture, design, maintenance, repair, delivery of the aircraft itself. We don't have that right now. Right now, we had to get on scene. We had to organize. We will have more information tomorrow. I expect we'll have a press briefing tomorrow, also the next day, and as long as we need to, in order to provide you and the public the information that you deserve. So with that, I will not speculate on anything as part of the question and answer portion of this press conference. Now, I want to emphasize, because those who are here today will likely ask me questions about safety and our aviation system. Those watching may be curious about safety or concerned about safety. We have the safest aviation system in the world. It is incredibly safe. We are the global gold standard for safety around the world, but we have to maintain that standard. We are very, very fortunate here that this didn't end up in something more tragic. No one was seated in 26A and B, where that door plug is. The aircraft was around 16,000 feet and only 10 minutes out from the airport when the door blew. Fortunately, they were not at cruise altitude of 30,000 or 35,000 feet. Think about what happens when you're in cruise. Everybody's up and walking. Folks don't have seatbelts on. They're going to restrooms. The flight attendants are providing service to passengers. We could have ended up with something so much more tragic, and we're really fortunate that that did not occur here. Now, I would like to take a moment and thank some entities and individuals. First and foremost, I want to thank the Secretary of Transportation. He reached out to me today just to express support and coordination for the investigation. I've been on the phone since this morning and actually really last night with the Federal Aviation Administration Administrator, Mike Whitaker. He has been very communicative with us and very supportive of our work as we have of theirs today. I am very encouraged that they took swift and decisive action to ensure continued safety in our airspace. I also want to thank the first responders, the heroes after such tragedies, the Port of Portland Police Department and the Port of Portland Fire Department did an incredible job. Thank you for all your work. I also want to thank the FBI and the local law enforcement. You may see the FBI here. We have, the NTSB has a memorandum of understanding with the FBI to help us collect evidence. We may need equipment at some points during an investigation, and they help provide that to us. In this case, they're helping local law enforcement locate the door and components that came off the aircraft in flight. But now we need the public's help. We know from looking at radar data, well, at least we believe from looking at radar data, that the door is around Barnes Road near I-217 and the Cedar Hills neighborhood. If you find that, please contact local law enforcement. You can also email us at witness.gov. We are active at, I'm so sorry, witness at ntsb.gov. That's again, witness at ntsb.gov. But it would be a help to us incredibly for our investigation if you find that to reach out, of course. We also are looking for pictures and video from inside the aircraft. Again, please email those to witness at ntsb.gov. Now, we will update all of you on future press conferences or updates. Please check our social media platforms and ntsb.gov. So with that, I'm going to take some questions. I will call on you. Please state your name, your affiliation. Please limit your questions to one question. We'll do multiple rounds, but I just want to make sure that others get their questions in. Yes.
Hi there, Jacqueline Lane with ABC News. How concerned are you about the safety of Boeing's 737 MAX fleet?
The question is, how concerned are you in the safety of the Boeing 737 MAX fleet? Our investigation right now is focused on this particular aircraft, and we're early on in the investigation, so we can't make any broad statements about the fleet. But I am very encouraged, again, that the FAA took action to temporarily ground this particular aircraft for inspection and for addressing any potential concerns that were identified through those inspections. Yes?
Yeah, Amanda Harden with CBS News. We took reports about a teenager who was near the hole in the plane who had his shirt ripped off. You mentioned no one was sitting in seats 26A or 26B. Do you know what seat he was sitting in, or where the nearest person was to the hole?
So the question is, where was the nearest person to this particular portion of the structure that blew out, and whether there was a teenager or an adult near that particular location. That is part of what our cabin safety and survival factors team will determine. I've asked that question myself, but I've gotten different answers. So until we can really factually determine who was where, I don't want to provide inaccurate information. Hopefully I'll have that for you tomorrow. Yes.
Okay, you are taking a listen to the NTSB as we're getting the latest information on this incident, where we know basically a part of this Alaska Airlines plane just came